Hello and welcome back to Mortgage Chat. My name's Maria and I'm joined back with the boys from MTGE, Neil and Roger. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to see your faces. So we're going to have a chat today about the new government scheme. I mean, we mentioned it last week based on the budget announcement. So how is this new scheme affecting people's buying power when it comes to old and new properties? What's been the response so far?
The government scheme is I mean, the full details are sort of dripping through now. But if you can actually compare it directly with the Help to Buy scheme, then my own personal recommendation is to look at Help to Buy, the first scheme, purely because you've got cheaper interest rates and the ability to buy something brand new. Okay,
so Neil, what would you say the most positive aspect would be then in that case of buying a second-hand property using this new scheme?
Obviously, the obvious one is most first-time buyers struggle with the deposit. The income is usually there; it's the deposit. So unless you've got bank of mum and dad, or a lump of money somewhere, which isn't usually the case, then obviously being able to purchase something with just a five is a big attraction. And yeah, one of the biggest advantages is it's not limited to just new builds. So whereas before people were restricted to finding a new build in an area that they wanted to live in, now they've got a wider choice and can go down the second-hand route as well.
Okay, I personally love something with a little bit of character and charm. Roger, what would you say in terms of over new or old? Are you an oldie or do you like a new?
To be honest, I think it really depends what you're looking to buy and what sort of budget you've got. I mean, both have got benefits, pros and cons. People automatically assume that you've got great character with an old property. Having said that, you might have a leaky roof, an out-of-date boiler, and poor windows. You don't have those with a new build property. Obviously, you've got a brand new boiler. You've actually got a better insulated property. Your heating bills are less. So it depends really what your priority is as an individual. So I don't think that one should be seen over the other. I would actually urge people to actually look at both and compare both in a favourable position, the pros and cons.
Okay, so that leads me on to the next then. Pros and cons of a new build. Roger, you can go on cons. Neil, you're on pros. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Go.
Pros of new build, it's all done. You haven't got to do anything. You move in, you just got to choose what colour you want the walls and where you want the TV. So yeah, nice and simple, easy life.
Roger, con.
People's perception of a new build property, I think, is fair, is that they automatically think it's going to be smaller and more expensive.
Pro?
You get a warranty with a new build property, so usually between 5 and 10 years. So if there's anything goes wrong with it, you're protected.
Con?
In some cases, you require bigger deposits on a new build property than you do on second hand, but then with Help to Buy and you're a first time buyer, then they are equal playing fields.
Oh, this is good. Pro.
I'll steal this one from what Roger touched on a second ago. So yeah, generally your bills, energy, they're more energy efficient. So your bills, heating bills, electricity, just overall a little bit more efficient and better insulated, more efficient boilers, etc. So yeah, running costs would be lower.
Con?
Sometimes new build properties don't actually have much inside them, so you might have to deal a bit harder with a developer. So you might not get flooring, you might not actually get cupboards.
Right.
The incentives, there are a lot of incentives that come with new builds. So developers can often cover stamp duty, legal fees, and obviously you got the Help to Buy scheme, which is a big pro. So at the moment, it's easier to get on the property ladder with a new build.
Well, this is like a ping pong match today. God, this could go on for a long time. It's like, easy.
Scraping the barrel now.
Come on, Roger.
Trouble with this, as soon as I give him a con, he gets a pro out of it. So that's where it is. So the con, you can find that there's actually management charges, and the upkeep of the community areas is a monthly charge and a fee, which obviously affects affordability.
Pro.
I'm done on pros. He's beating me.
but way
There was an
too easy
obvious
there.
one. There was an obvious one. I just turned around and said the pro is that you've got a nice garden. You've got nice community areas because of the upkeep, because you're paying for it.
Okay, all right.
Therefore, you've got consistency.
Good job there's no prizes at the end of this.
Yeah.
So this leads me on to the next question. So in the marketplace, you guys are actually considered the go-to guys when it comes to developers. Can you explain a little bit more about that, Roger?
Yeah, so I mean, we do a lot of mortgages for the trade, and by the trade, it's much the same as, you know, a painter and decorator going to his own trade supplier for his own paint. A lot of the actual directors, sales negotiators, and sales managers use our services, partially because we're actually very good at structuring deals, making sure that things are actually hit on deadlines. We don't necessarily charge fees again. Well, we don't charge fees, full stop, sorry. But as I said, you know, we're the go-to. So we didn't name ourselves that. We've actually had that reward or trophy given to us by the actual developing world.
Are you allowed to mention any of the developers that you work with, or?
We choose not to, because I mean they are mainstream. Some are PLC, some are non-PLC. You know, it's you know, our biggest concept is trying to get both sides to actually meet. And if you consider the actual offside rule in football, is very much the same within house building. Everybody needs to be on side. So that includes the actual seller, which in this case is developer, the lender, the borrower, the solicitor, and the valuer. As soon as one of those strays offside, then it goes wrong. And we try and actually manage that whole situation, which is probably why we're uniquely different.
Almost like a concierge service then.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could argue that. Yeah, indeed.
Perfect. Okay, so this is a little bit unscripted, like everything I do. Neil and Roger, just for the fun of it, I'd like to know pros and cons about each other. So, Neil, you can start with pros on Roger. Why would people go to Roger?
Experience. Obviously, he's been around a while. Knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's like I say, he's got the contacts as well. So there's a lot of contacts at lenders that were built up over the years, which always helps. So yeah.
Roger.
So am I doing the cons? Am I doing the cons on Neil then? Well, that's not very nice, is it?
A little bit one-sided.
That's staff morale.
This so horribly wrong.
HR department, here we come.
Yeah.
The con is he likes my wine.
Yeah.
No, the pros are, again, quite simply, you know, we actually sort of work with people and know what they're doing, and that's it's never scripted. It's not about every size fits all. We look outside the box. Well, I hate that saying, but it's very true. You know, Neil's very good at looking outside, looking at other opportunities to actually find how to get things to work. You know, sometimes we just can't do it, but you know, what I would say that if there is an ability, Neil will find a way of doing it.
There's a lot of love. A lot of love.
Never mind.
So you share the wine together then?
Yeah, we're sitting there in our wife fronts having a little fiddle, drinking a bottle of Zenza. What do you think?
Don't share all our secrets, Rog.
Okay, so the other thing that we have never mentioned before, actually, which is a unique selling point, I guess, of your business, is that you have an aftercare package that you offer all your clients as well. Is it called the Protection Asset? Can you go into that a little bit more for me?
So we consider that everything a client has is an asset. Now, your marriage is an asset. You know, your wife is an asset. Your children is your asset. You know, your house is an asset. Now, that might sound a very material way of doing things, but actually, if you lose one, you're absolutely knocked sideways. So therefore, it tends to make it more simple that everything needs an element of protection. You know, whether that's an insurance or whether it's actually an income replacement. But it's very much about saying, you know, look at where you would be if this was to go. How do you feel? What do you want to do about it? And it's putting you, the client, in a very informed position. We don't judge, we don't tell, we just advise and suggest.
Perfect. Neil, do you want to add any more to that?
No, I think Roger's hit the nail on the head there, to be honest.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. We would love to hear from anybody that has any questions for the Mortgage Gurus. So please feel free to drop your comments below. And we will be back next week. And remember, the website is mtge.uk. Thank you very much.
Super. Have a good evening.
Thanks.